Hi guys, and welcome back. So today is a sketching video, and while I was sketching, one of my main goals for this is that I wanted to try practicing more painterly type techniques within my everyday sketching type style and workflow. So that's really what this is. It's a lot of experimenting, and I actually ended up trying quite a few new brushes out this time. I downloaded a couple new brush packs, and it's been a very long time, probably years, since I've really used any different brushes extensively. So this was a lot of fun, and I think that I'm definitely excited about really trying out new brushes and curating exactly what I want for more of a painterly style and readdressing what I want out of my brushes. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to play with them. But the thing that I did notice is that because I was using brushes that I had to use a lot more pressure to get them more opaque, I actually ended up getting a really sore hand after sketching this. It was something that I was not used to at all, because normally I work in things that are opaque right away. Usually what I end up doing when I try to do something that's more painterly and blended in is that I'll usually do a completely flat opaque layer with one of just the default round brushes, so I can just get the color down, and then on top of that I add color variation and stuff. And I played around a lot more while I was sketching this time with just going in with a much more translucent soft brush than a really hard opaque one. And in some ways I really like that, where it felt a lot more organic, and it was a lot more, I wouldn't say I wouldn't think that normally it's stressful, but it just had a lot more carefree, easy go when I was filling in the shapes with something that was softer as opposed to something that was very precise. And I think it was just that I was able to focus more on getting the general shape rather than being very painstakingly filling in all of the correct edges. And a lot of times when I'm sketching like this, the actual sketch lines are not completely precise. So when I'm going in with a very precise color that's very hard, sometimes it doesn't always jive with the actual sketch layer, because it's too harsh, and the sketch layer is more finessed and not really as specific. So yeah, going in with a softer brush that has a little bit more texture around the edges, I think was a lot more pleasant of experience when I was filling in the color. But there also came with that a lot of frustration of wanting it to be much more opaque, and that is obviously a pretty easy solution. I ended up going in with a couple of the brushes, and I just went to the preset and I bumped up the minimum translucent, I don't remember what exactly it's called, but you can choose how translucent you want it to be, and normally it's set to 0, which means that if I put almost no pressure, then there will be almost no color. But I went in and I bumped that up so that the lowest, or the lightest it could go, the most translucent, was much more opaque than it started out to be. That way it was a lot less of a strain on my hand. I didn't have to push as hard to get it to cover where I wanted it to, but I was still able to get a little bit more of a soft edge. So that was a good way that I could bring those two together. And that's why I'm kind of excited about really finding what brushes I am excited about using more of, and then getting all of the settings correct in the way that I like them, and then saving those brushes so that every time I open them, all those settings and everything are exactly the same. And that's definitely the benefit to learning how to create your own brushes, and basically just knowing how to save brushes and manipulate them and make them the way you want them to. And that's actually something I need a little bit of a refresher on. I basically know how to import brushes, I know how to save brush sets that I have, but there's a lot more that you can do with brushes. There's just so many options. You can create your own brushes. So I think I'd like to get back into really having more of a hands-on control over my brushes. That way I can really choose how I want it to be and how I can look at that. So I think I'm definitely going to do some more research and experimenting and playing around with and trying to figure out how to really manipulate the brushes the way I want it to. And then maybe I'll show you guys a little bit of what I've learned about how you can create your own brushes and everything. So that is exciting. I'm excited to start getting back into trying out and experimenting with new brushes rather than just having the exact same ones. Which is honestly a really good benefit. It's nice when I can sit down and not worry about the brushes, because I know how they work and I know how they behave. So that is definitely a point that I would like to get to, but I would like to incorporate new types of brushes and new textures into my workflow. And I feel really actually pretty happy with what I was drawing in these sketches. I know that I talk about it a lot, so I won't go super in depth, but in a lot of my pieces I work very automatically, and a lot of times my sketches are things that I am just not interested in. They're really bland and mediocre. They're just not something that I find really very passionate to me. I don't feel passionately about the sketches and I don't love them. So for this one, for this set of sketches, I feel really happy with them. I was trying to be very conscientious about what I was putting down and why I was making those choices, and not just letting myself disconnect my brain and just draw. So in the end, I think that it turned out really well, at least, because I think that it's definitely taking me in the right direction, so that I am constantly thinking about what I want to draw and why I'm choosing that, and why I'm choosing each brush stroke, and what colors I'm using to enhance that subject matter and that mood and that appeal that I want to have in my pieces. So overall, I think that this sketching session was really successful because it did put me in the right direction. It was something that I really enjoyed, and that's not something that I can say about every time that I sketch. I just feel really happy with this. I was happy with the experience of sketching it, and it made me just want to keep drawing more, which is really the ultimate goal. Is I want to be able to draw things that make me happy, so happy that I just want to keep drawing and draw more things that make me happy. And that is pretty much it for this piece. I do have a couple tutorials that I'm currently working on, and a project that I'm really excited about, and it's at the very beginning stages, but I will be having more in-depth, wholesome type videos that will be coming out pretty soon. So I am really excited about what I have to show for you soon. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe and check out my shop. There's a link right below me, and I will see you at my next one. Bye!